Hello and welcome to the Movie Therapy Channel. We are Jim and Sam, and this is the show where we like to give you our rating first and then talk about the things we did and did not like about the movie we just saw. Today's movie is Men in Black International. So, do I feel like I want to be neuralized after watching this movie? We're going to let you know here in a second. What did you think? 3, 2, 1, wait for it.
Really?
I'm surprised you gave it a pass it. What I will say is that this film is not the unmitigated disaster that the reviews would have you believe. It's just it's there and it's okay.
I think that if I had just waited for the DVD or the Blu-ray, I would have been perfectly fine.
Men in Black International, things that we liked. I'll just start that. I thought the acting was good. Chris Hemsworth is finding his niche as the
quirky guy. Sort
of quirky, but I'd say the charming, bumbling idiot, sort of buffoon.
Yeah.
Character. Tessa Thompson's very good.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I'm going to butcher his name. Kajima Najani? Something. He's the little alien guy. He voices the little alien guy. Oh my goodness,
he was the best. Pawnee.
But the actual actor, he did The Big Sick. He's fantastic. That's him. He's so good.
Oh, he's the best.
It's almost worth seeing the movie just for his little interpretation as the alien because he is super funny.
That's true.
The story, that's probably his biggest flaw. It's just very generic. It's, if you've seen the trailer, I hate to say it, if you've seen the trailer, you've seen the movie. It is what it is, unfortunately. But it has its laughs. It was entertaining for the most part. The plot didn't intrigue me all that much, but the film's very much carried by the charminess of its cast. What are some things that you liked?
It did feel very short in a good way. It felt like a quick movie, so it would be something that I wouldn't mind to have waited for it to be on Blu-ray. But, I mean, Pawnee was the best part. I mean, the three of them, Tessa Thompson, Chris Hemsworth, and Pawnee's characters kind of talking amongst themselves was a really fun time to watch. But for the most part, like you said, it was kind of generic. It wasn't super intriguing. It felt like I had already kind of heard the story from the other Men in Black, but it was a fine watch. It was a fine watch.
Yep. All right, your favorite scene?
My favorite scene was when they were trapped in the desert and the three of them were trying to fix the bike, and Pawnee is just hilarious.
That's my favorite scene as well. That's when Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson aren't speaking to each other.
Yeah.
So they're asking Pawnee to translate what they're saying, even though they're sitting right next to each other. And Pawnee just translates exactly what Chris Hemsworth says verbatim, but then he elaborates on Tessa Thompson's. Goes, "Hey, jackass, Queen says that you suck," or something like that. Yeah. He elaborates on what she's saying. It's a really funny scene. It is also my funny scene. I was thinking about it, and outside of that scene, I feel like that's the other kind of issue with the film, is that none of the scenes besides that one particular one stood out to me. Mm-hmm. Like driving home, I was literally thinking, what is my favorite scene? Is there one that stands out at all? And I really had to think about it. Mm-hmm. And I think that's part of the genericness of the story, was that nothing actually stands out. Where you look at the original Men in Black, you'd be like, Edgar asking for endless amounts of sugar in his water, Will Smith finding the MIB and being going through all the testing phases, and he doesn't shoot any of the aliens that are the testing things. He's like, why do you shoot that guy? He's like, that guy's just trying to get his workout on. Look at him. He's just doing curls on the light post. He ain't causing no trouble. Will Smith shot the little girl.
You have an amazing memory.
Because that first film is absolutely fantastic. It is such a good. Is really good. That first film is almost a classic action comedy film of the 90s.
Isn't it though? I mean, I feel like it is.
I would say it is. Yeah. It is a fantastic film that is very much carried just beyond the performance of its actors. It's actually a really intriguing story, and it does something well that none of the other Men in Black films have done since. Mm-hmm. But since we're now past what we liked and our favorite scene, let's go into the things that we didn't like about this film.
Okay.
So for me, I'm already kind of on it, that the first Men in Black film did the fish out of water story, and it wasn't heavily invested in that aspect, but Will Smith is very much the fish out of water in that film. Every single aspect, every scene that he's in, that's him in the Men in Black, he messes stuff up. He doesn't understand what he's doing. He's just very playful, and every scene that he's in almost ends in some sort of little disaster, and it's very funny. It's very charming to watch. It's one of the things that made the first Thor film very fun and very easy to watch. It's
Yeah.
that fish out of water story. It's easy to relate to. It's one of the reasons why people like these kinds of stories is that it's easy to, it allows the audience to connect to the action, what's going on, because when you have the fish out of water story, the audience has a perspective that they're experiencing the events of the film through. Will Smith was that character in the first one.
Yeah.
And none of the other Men in Black films have ever had that since the first one. Men in Black 2 and 3 are very much carried by Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones. I really don't remember anything about the 2 and 3 outside of 3 of the time traveling one. And I did like Bill Hader as the eccentric artist in 3. That's about the extent of my memory on that one. I don't remember anything from 2. And this one is just another, it's essentially just Men in Black 4. The 3 things that I feel like this film has an issue with is that, 1, they telegraph the twist from the very beginning. The story's just not intriguing. Mm-hmm. And the third thing is that there are scenes and plot points in this film that have no relevance to the plot, and they don't wrap some of these subplots up. So
Sure.
like there's a scene that Chris Hemsworth, like we're introduced, Chris Hemsworth's character has 2 introductions. The second introductory scene for him has it doesn't affect the plot whatsoever. It doesn't come around full circle at the end like Tessa Thompson's opening scene. It's like Tessa Thompson's character's opening scene comes full circle.
Yeah.
They call back to it at the end of the film. Chris Hemsworth's second character introductory scene has no callback. It's just there just so we can see Chris Hemsworth shirtless. I mean, the payoff to the scene is just Chris Hemsworth getting out of bed with no shirt on. Like, that's the payoff.
It's a fine payoff.
He's a good looking dude with the shirt off. It's just, and that's it. That's like what that felt like.
Yeah.
And there's another plot point where it's like, to have they throw a red herring into the mix, but the red herring is never resolved. It's just there simply to throw you off the scent of who the real traitor in the MIB is. But then they don't explain it. They don't bring it full circle. Once we leave that scene of the red herring, it's like that plot point of the red herring is just done. It doesn't come back.
Yeah.
And so that's another issue that I have with the script, where they introduce some threads that they don't deliver on.
Okay.
So what are some things that you didn't like?
I just wasn't super intrigued in the story. Like, I really felt like it was a straight to DVD movie. It didn't feel like it was an epic movie that I would really want to see in the movie theater. Like, there wasn't anything that I necessarily was like, oh, I really didn't like that. And it wasn't necessarily that I was bored, but I just wasn't as intrigued as I wanted to be for waiting so long to have another Men in Black movie. It had its quirks and it had its moments, so at least I was, laughing a few times. Mm-hmm. So it was able to bring some of that, but it just wasn't able to bring everything that I wanted to see in a Men in Black.
Yeah, and what I will say is I feel like they're almost the other thing that bothers me about this movie. There isn't one other thing. For an organization that's supposed to be covert and under the radar, every single vehicle they drive is the exact opposite of covert. They have the most alien-sounding cars, looking vehicles in the entire world.
Well, I didn't understand that. So, like, were they able to drive those around and people wouldn't remember them, or would they? I didn't get that.
I have no idea. I mean, that was another thing that's kind of confusing. It was supposed to be covert, but everything about them was anything but covert.
They were very out there.
Yeah. Like, when the car is driving by, the car sounds like an alien rocket ship driving down the street.
Yeah.
Just when you see them in its normal form. Like, when Tessa Thompson goes through the portal and she sees them with the Jimmy alien, and then she gets in the taxi cab, she's like, follow those cars. And the cars drive by, you're like, and it sounds like an alien spaceship driving by.
Yeah.
It's like, why does that sound like that? Where that was part of the charm of the first Men in Black film, where they leaned into the silliness of them being covert, and it worked.
Yeah.
Whereas this, they went the exact opposite. They're like, all right, there's going to be nothing covert about what we're doing here. Like, when Tessa Thompson goes from America to London, there's this blue streak that streaks across the earth.
Yeah.
What is covert about that?
But, I mean, they had some of that in the other Men in Blacks.
Not the first one. They drive an old beat-up Cadillac, and Will Smith makes fun of it, and it's very good. It's not until the very end of the film where he's like, press the red button, and he presses the red button, and then the Cadillac kind of shoots out jet propulsors, and they drive upside down in the tunnel.
Oh, yeah.
And then when they come out on the other side of the tunnel, the car then goes back down the normal. that is as out there as that original Men in Black goes, and that's only in like dire emergencies.
Right.
This whole movie was like there was no dire emergency. Everything about them screamed, "Hey, we are dealing with alien technology."
Yeah.
I didn't hate that. It was just one of those things where it's like, okay. It just felt like some people behind the scenes weren't paying attention to details, and they just wanted to make this film seem cool. Mm-hmm. And the thing about Men in Black is that they are anti-cool. They are the opposite of cool.
Right.
That's what made that original Men in Black charming, was that they knew they weren't cool, and they leaned into it. And Will Smith was like the cool guy, but he understood that being not cool was part of the shtick.
Yeah.
And that whole thing, that's not just out the window, whereas now the shtick is being cool.
Yeah.
And they don't make fun of it. They don't poke fun. There is no self-awareness to it at all.
Yeah.
So that was another gripe that I had with the movie. So again, that doesn't bring my score down. It's just one of those things when I was watching it where it's like, this feels odd. It's something goofy about this.
Yeah.
So those are my thoughts.
Those are my thoughts.
So, all right. That's it for us. Sorry, this one is a little late. Been a busy week for us. So, trying to remember what's next weekend. Is it Toy Story 4 next weekend?
Yes.
Toy Story 4.
Toy Story 4.
And then I believe we're going to kick up our viewing ship here in the next week or so. We'll also be doing Child's Play. Also comes out next week. So we'll probably catch that on Saturday.
Child's Play.
We'll do it. We'll watch it Saturday, and then we'll have a video for Child's Play up on Sunday. I think that'll be good for the coming weeks.
I'm excited for Child's Play.
And then maybe just going forward, maybe 2 videos a week. We can get back on that because we were doing that for a while before, and we've gotten away from it, and I think we'll get back into it. Doing two movies a week.
I'll be able to edit some things too since I'll have more time on my hand.
Yeah, it's Saturday. It's not a big deal. All right. So that's it for us. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, like and subscribe to see more because we got more coming. Have a good day, guys.